everyone, this is Nemesis with another video review. This is the Transformers Power of the Primes Deluxe Class Dreadwind, the lone Decepticon Deluxes in the first wave. Obviously his partner Darkwing, or now Blackwing, is not here yet. There's Jet, and of course he comes in this package right here. You can see render, name, ages, the logo and everything. Transformers there on the side. Up here you have pretty nice artwork actually of him kind of doing stuff. Oh look, artwork here of, a Starscream looking thing. Maybe we'll get to that, maybe we won't. This is a Starscream's not exactly getting a lot of praise right now. Anyway, here on the back you see the renders of the various two modes. You got the whole play pattern right there as well, including how these work. 3 of them advertised: Macronus, Vector Prime, Liege Maximo. Warnings and whatnot, more in his bio right there. Up here, which is, how will the Doom-bringing Decepticon air defense specialist wield the power of the Primes? Yeah, he comes with his Prime armor and whatnot. So I guess that's what they're officially calling it, and there you go. Looks kind of like a backpack to me, if anything. But, yep, and here's the figure himself. And included with it are, well, his trading card. There it is, once again, the artwork, Dreadwind and everything. And this one is the Solus Dreadwind. Forges armor that cloaks him in darkness. You got that? Nice one. And you have, of course, his instructions. See? Instructions. On the Deluxe class, instructions are a little small, I feel, in the Deluxe class. You can see that. I feel like the instructions are kind of printed a little too small compared to the Legends class one, so that's kind of annoying to me. But also, he comes with accessories: a gun, cast in a very I don't know, teal, I want to say, and his Prime armor, or his hand really, for the combined mode. Yeah, those are accessories. Put them off to the side for now. And yeah, he's a jet. This jet right here, apparently it's a pretty heavy retool of the Combiner Wars Skydive. It's there's quite a few differences from that one version, but you can see a lot of stuff like these fins are the same. This whole tail section is pretty much the same, and whatnot. The nose, I believe, is the same. I believe even the legs right here are the same sculpting, but the arms and the wings are pretty different from the original one. Yeah, it's from what I've seen, it looks a lot like the G1 Dreadwind. I don't have a G1 Dreadwind, so I can't really make any live comparisons. Yeah, it's mostly white with some gray and purple and teal and a little bit of red. There's also silver striping on the wings and tail fins, and of course Decepticon symbols. I actually like this. These are pretty nicely done. They're not stickers, which is a nice thing. They're tampoed on cleanly and everything. It's a pretty nice little jet, at least from the top side. Much like pretty much every Combiner Wars jet and whatnot, and pretty much almost every jet as of recently, which is, the problem is, well, you can pretty much just see a robot just kind of sitting there underneath the jet. I kind of find that unfortunate. It just kind of stinks that you can just see a robot just chilling out under here. It's just been a general problem. And unlike a lot of the Combiner Wars, including his original version of this mold, there's no landing, or at least I'm sure, I can't remember. I don't think maybe it didn't. Anyway, there's no landing gear or anything. It's just kind of, you got just a couple little things. It just sits there. But it's still kind of nice to kind of grab and whoosh it around a bit. But I believe there is might not be anymore. Because I know a lot of these have these time machine stage ports. I don't see one here. That might work as one, but that's really thin. Yeah, I don't really see one, unfortunately. Looks like they removed it. But, yeah, you can also see a couple pegs for the, I guess, Titan Masters or Prime Masters now. That's kind of a thing. I mean, it's a pretty nice looking jet, just the unfortunate thing that all of them have, which is just robot hanging out underneath. But his gun can peg in multiple places. You can plug it on the arm, on the edge of the wing. If you want it more streamlined, you can plug it on the arm. I've noticed, though, it's a very, the peg is very tight. I've noticed that, so it doesn't like to peg in super easily. It takes a bit of more force than you'd hope for. Yeah, it can peg in there. There's unfortunately no. If you had two guns, it'd be a lot better because then it'd be symmetrical at least. But then you got his Prime armor, which you can peg in right here on the top. You're supposed to kind of peg it in on top. I guess as an extra something or another. But yeah, you're supposed to peg it in like that. This thing also can house a Prime Master, and since we don't have those right now, at least I don't have those. Some people are starting to get them. I haven't got mine yet, but you can put in a Prime Master or a Type Master. This apparently can become a gun. That's kind of weird. I guess you can store it under here when you're doing this. There you go. Now I guess you got some. Yeah, you can take one of those and just plug them in like that. It looks silly with a Titan Master, but I suspect it'll look a little better with a Prime Master. But yeah, this is, I guess, to show it works. So you got that thing. But because it's Power of the Primes, it also can do more than just wield that. See, this can also change. It's a hand. See that? Fingers. And I'm not sure why there's 2 thumbs, other than I guess symmetrical. But it's kind of weird when you have to like transform it and like you just have an extra thumb sticking around. I mean, I guess you could remove it off the ball joint, but it's kind of a weird thing. But there's the hand for a combined mode, which I guess he's supposed to combine with Starscream. Yeah, I guess. Terminal leg is pretty simple though. You just unpeg the wings and move them back. Also, you gotta fold those up. I always forget that part. Move them back. There's a little hole right here. There's this little peg right here goes onto it. It doesn't fit super perfect. Like it doesn't fit flush against, but it, peg in there and at least kind of hold it. You do that, you take the front, move down like that. Rotate the head around. You're gonna possibly have to transform this a little bit and move the combiner war or the combining peg out. Put that back together. Take the wings here and then fold them down. And that's more or less his leg. The leg mode. Apparently the feet now come with the Voyager, so I don't really have any way to show you that part. But that's his leg mode. It's pretty simple. And arm mode. So you keep all that done right there, but move this peg. I'm going to rotate the head around as well, because otherwise the head's just peeking out. And rotate the peak like this. Unpeg the arms. Open up the legs. Extend them all the way out. These are really tight on mine, I noticed. Like, absurdly tight. Close them back up, making sure this tab goes in that slot. Repeg them together if the aim came undone. And then you're supposed to move this camera up a little bit. Take the arms, rotate them up. And here, rotate them around and just bend them at the elbow. Same on this side, rotate around, bend at the elbow. And then depending on which arm way you want to, and then of course fold one, keep the wings folded up as they weren't already. And then rotate this either way depending on which arm you want it to be. And you take, of course, the foot, the hand, plug it in. There you go. Here's his arm mode. Pretty simple. It's a decent arm mode, but again, these just kind of hang out. They don't really peg in anywhere, unfortunately. I kind of noticed the common problem with I've noticed with the aerial bots, or at least their mold, is just the hands just kind of don't go anywhere. They just kind of chill out somewhere on the shoulder. And that's always disappointed me. But it's a decent arm. It's gonna obviously have the 2 inches for the elbows, so it can curl. It'll have the rotation, bicep rotation. It'll unpeg itself. Now, of course, obviously because it's peg, the hand will rotate, and it'll have the clicky shoulder joints. So that'll be a thing when it, eventually it's combined together. Yeah, that's the arm mode. And to get to the rest of the way, the robot mode is not very much from here. Undo that, rotate this back so these are forward again, separate the legs, open this back up so you can move the head back down, rotate the head forward, close that back up, rotate the biceps forward. And you're mostly there. I mean, Officially, you're supposed to move these back. But like Pia did in his video, I prefer these forward. It kind of, I guess, minimizes the footprint on the shelf and just kind of keeps the Decepticon logos on the outside. So I prefer it this way. Your preferences may change. I understand. But that's his robot mode. It's pretty simple. I mean, if you already have a skydive, you already know what to do. So yeah, robot mode there. It's pretty straightforward. Transformation overall. And yeah, I like his color scheme here. Again, it's mostly teals, purples and whites. And there's a little bit more red here on the chest. You got a nice little Decepticon, very little actually, Decepticon logo right there on the chest. It's very tiny. His head is this purple mask thing, it looks like. It just looks like this little purple mask, yellow eyes. Very nicely picked out yellow eyes, though. A little white faceplate. I like the big, I guess, thruster shoulders. I kind of like that. It's apparently also, it's again, really accurate to the original. That's the word I was looking for. You got a little silver detailing here. Silver detailing on the kneecaps. Little gray feet. But yeah, and purple legs and purple forearms. So yeah, I think this helps because what this does is this paint right here kind of helps these rivets and screws kind of blend in as quote unquote intentional design choices versus these are obviously just pins and screws. So that kind of helps a little bit on that front. So there's that. I guess it kind of cheats a little, but I understand having to. It's actually, I kind of like this a little bit. I mean, I don't have Skydive. I do have the Lio Kaiser repaint that was, I think, Felbat. I think it was Felbat. Yeah, I think it was Felbat. I have it, but I didn't want to get it out. But yeah, I've never really been super into the Combiner Wars aerial bots. So, but yeah, this is actually a pretty decent looking deluxe. Of course, he's got his gun here. You can put it in either one of his hands. Just pegs in, although again, this gun is kind of pegs oddly tight. I'm not sure if the peg's too big or what. I think that might be it. And you could take the prime armor. There's two things you can do. You can do one thing is move this peg like that and plug it into the side of his arm, like as a I guess buckler or shield or whatever you want to call it. Other thing you can do, which you take this piece, move it down all the way down so it clicks, and this peg right here, take that and just peg it in as some sort of a chest shield thing. It's I'll be honest, it's a little goofy looking. It's like okay, I guess. I'm just like, yeah, it's there, I guess, if you want to, I guess, have him be powered up by Prime Master or whatever, but I prefer not to do that. It's just not particularly good looking in my opinion. So I just leave it like that. And if anything, I'll just plug this into the, there's other way I think you can just store it like back here or something. There's also a Tamashii stage port right here. You can use that but you can't, unfortunately that's inaccessible in plane mode. But you can use that for displaying purposes. I just prefer with him just using this as a buckler of some sort. And again, you can take this out and use it as a gun. Very strange looking gun, but a gun nonetheless. Yeah, overall, I kind of like the color scheme and layout of this guy. It looks pretty nice. He's kind of thin looking, but again, he's a jet, so it kind of makes sense. When I think of flight and stuff, I think of flying robots. I think of very thin and light because, well, otherwise it's not going to be flying very well, right? But yeah, posability though, he's got a swivel head. Yes, I believe it is a swivel. But yeah, I can look left and right. His shoulders, there are little joints here. Forward and back, and plus you got a dedicated outward swivel right there. Go pretty far. He's got a bicep swivel as well. Lots of swivels up here. He's also got a elbow joint, which gets about a little over 90 degrees if there's no gun in the hand. A little over. On mine, this elbow, I think it's this elbow. It's one of the elbows. But one of the elbows likes to pop out kind of easily. That one right there, I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure if it's a common problem, but I remember in Pia's video, he had a problem with that elbow coming out. So I'm wondering if that's a widespread problem, possibly mold degradation. I'm not sure. Anyway, watch it. If you get this guy, watch the elbows. But most part, as long as you're not too rough with it, should be fine. Waist joint, it's it's there. It just like the old Combiner Wars aerial bots, it is off center a bit, so it can look a little weird if you start rotating a little too far. But it's there. Notice this thing doesn't always tab in all the way. It doesn't really tab in at all. It just kind of relies on friction, which is a little weird. But yeah, so I don't think it comes out too easily now. But sometimes you might actually catch it if you're not paying attention. But anyway, hips, ball joints, so forward pretty far, back pretty far. Only thing here is sculpting kind of banging into each other. Thigh swivels, pretty good ones. And knees, just shy of 90 degrees. Thanks to all the kibble and stuff. I mean, you can untransform it, but then it looks really bad, and I would not do that personally. Nothing in the feet, but it is sculpted in an A stance. So, again, he's pretty good. I think he's a pretty good one, just not the greatest. He doesn't really stand out too much just because, again, he's a retool of an old mold rather than a brand new mold. So he kind of, it's like, oh, okay, so we've been around this guy. I think a lot of us actually have probably at least one or two of this mold already, if not more. So it's kind of like harder to get excited for him, but he's still pretty nice. If you don't already have it, it's a pretty solid jet mode. Again, the problem is robot just hanging underneath. And yeah, he got a nice color scheme and he's got a nice look and everything. He's pretty faithful to the original G1 guy, and I can't wait for I guess Blackwing now to come out because those two combined together, and apparently he's supposed to officially though be combined with Starscream for the combined mode. But I'm probably not picking up Starscream. I'm not really fond of it. I don't know, maybe down the line when it's super cheap, or I might get the Elita one, I think it was repaint instead. I don't know, maybe, but I'm probably not going to get Starscream. Definitely getting Blackwing though, and combining them together. I'm going to be pretty excited when I can combine those two together. But it's a solid mold, or it's a solid toy. It's just not particularly strong just because it's just a retool of one we already had. So it's nothing new for us particularly, except for some minor things and whatnot. I mean, this whole movement for the wings is kind of cool, how they move down rather than just kind of folding up on the back. They chill out on the legs instead. I kind of think that looks a little cool. I don't know why. But yeah, it's a pretty good mold, just not the greatest mold, and I think it kind of hurts it in the sense that all the other molds of this wave for the deluxes are brand new. So it kind of hurts it. But it's still pretty good on its own, and I would still say check it out, especially if you want to get the whole, Dreadwing. If you want to get Dreadwing down the line, definitely going to have to pick this guy up anyway. But I think there are definitely strong, again, not bad, just weaker than the others. That's probably my assessment, yes. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on Dreadwind here. I hope you liked it, or you found it entertaining, or you found it informative, and I didn't babble too much. If you find any of those things, you could like, comment, subscribe below, and I'll just see you next time with yet another video review.